All right, so now we'll just a few minutes in. I'm just going to give a quick Zoom overview so that we're all on the same page. It's always good to refresh. Um, so let's check out your Zoom view. In the top right corner, you'll see either speaker view or gallery view. Right now it's a little different, I think because of the screen share. But this will let you toggle between showing all participants on the call, gallery view, or just who's speaking, which is speaker view. In gallery view, whoever is speaking will have a yellow box around their video image, so it's easy to find the speaker. Go ahead and toggle between the two, pick the one you like. You can change anytime you like during the call. So now let's check out the Zoom toolbar, which is very important for our session today since we're having breakout rooms. And it's located at the bottom of your screen. On the left, you'll see a microphone icon. Clicking on the icon turns your audio on and off. When your audio is off, you are muted, and you will see a line through the icon, as well as a little red version on the icon next to your video image. Please take a moment to mute yourself. We'll open the session up for a dialogue a little later. Next, you'll see a video icon. Clicking this icon turns your video image on and off. If there are internet stability issues, we recommend turning off the video to save bandwidth. In the middle section is the chat icon, which looks like a little thought bubble. Clicking this icon opens the chat box where you can type in a question or a comment. This is a great way to share an idea or question during the session. As a moderator, I'll be checking the box regularly and making sure your questions and comments get passed to our presenters. Let's all take a minute here to test the box by typing your name and affiliation and your pronouns like so. And then lastly, when we move to the breakout sessions, you will either be assigned to a breakout room or have the option to self-select depending on your Zoom version. For those being assigned, a notification will pop up on your screen inviting you to join in this toolbar. For those who can self-select, a breakout room option will appear in your Zoom toolbar as well. If you have any questions, please do let me know. You can just send me a private chat anytime. Thank you.
Thanks, Minna. Welcome everybody to this session on bringing your voice to the 2021 legislative session. My name's Cole Mannix, and I'm just going to help MC and move us through the agenda. I'm based in Helena, and I'm working this session with Grow Montana as a lobbyist on a couple of issues. So I wanted to remind everyone too, in addition to this session, which is very exciting, this afternoon, we also have another session that you may be interested in and that I want to flag from 1 to 2:30. And it's entitled Helping Us Imagine Grow Montana's Future. It will include a little bit of history on what the Grow Montana Coalition is, and it'll imagine how can we utilize this entity in the future to build a stronger and more resilient food system. And so please tune into that, and you can find on the Aero Expo website, if you haven't already registered for that, you can find the link to do so. Grow Montana is made up of 23 member organizations, and it began in 2005, again, to advocate for state policies that would strengthen Montana's food and agricultural economies. Some of the things that it has worked on are to authorize the Department of Livestock to inspect mobile meat slaughter units. It helped to authorize the creation of Montana's Food and Agricultural Development Centers. And the entity is housed out of the National Center for Appropriate Technology, one of the members in Butte, Montana, and is guided by a 9-member steering committee. So that's just a little bit. You'll learn more this afternoon of some of the history from the folks who have been involved since the beginning of Grow Montana. So I'll leave just the brief overview here. But this morning and what to expect, I'm excited that we'll have kind of a briefer from Kim Mangold from the Farmers Union about how does the legislative session actually work? How do policy issues move through it? And how can we as citizens and organizations be effective on the issues that matter to us? And then Senator Janet Ellis has generously joined us to help us better understand how to build relationships with our legislators. So she'll spend about 10 minutes overviewing, how do we understand the issues? How do we be effective as advocates? And then we're going to look at 4 issues in particular: farm to school, double SNAP, soil health, and a session we're calling the long haul, building relationships and thinking about any new bills that are not already on the agenda. And you'll be able to select two. We'll first of all hear an overview on each one of those topics for several minutes. And then you'll be able to select two sessions that you want to attend this morning for some in-depth information on each of those issues. And so I would ask you, we have about 30 participants. And if you click in, as Minna kind of overviewed, if you click on the participants tab at the bottom of your screen, and you could find yourself, and you can click the little more icon and rename yourself. And you can, by selecting 1 and 3, for example, you could direct Minna to put you in the farm to school discussion and the soil health discussion, or 1 and 2, farm to school and double snap. And that's how you can choose where you'd like to spend your time. And then, so once we break out into rooms for 2 sessions, we'll come back to the main room to close and to make sure that you're signed up for legislative alerts. Minna, am I forgetting anything as we prepare for Kim's presentation?
I think we're ready to hear from Kim. That's great. Thanks, Cole.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, hello, everyone. I was trying to think of the best way to start this presentation, and I'm going to start with one thing, and then I'm going to end on a positive note. And the first part is it's complicated. The second part of this, in working with our legislature, can be wonky, but it is not so difficult that we all can't do it. And so, but it is a bit complicated. And I think, Minna, if you can bring up the calendar, I'll discuss that first. One of the issues that we refer to consistently is the calendar of events that is anticipated for introduction of bills, last day to request, last day for revenue request, whatever it's going to be. And you can see on this calendar that these are very defined days, and there usually is never any flexibility with it. However, because we're in this unusual year, so everything I even tell you may change, but because we're in this unusual year, the Rules Committee is actually getting together today, and I want to introduce Rachel Prevost, our newest member to the team in Montana Farmers Union, and she will be assisting us with monitoring the rules that are going to be coming down, which defines the whole process. She's going to be looking at what the appointees to the committees are going to be. We've got the House pretty well firmed up, but we are still seeing some movement within the Senate. And so we're going to wait till they have a final decision on that before we're able to actually look at the Ag Committee at this time. During this period, there's a tremendous amount of caucus meetings. There's a tremendous amount of work that is actually happening behind the scenes. But I wanted you to look at the calendar and sort of keep that in mind. So you will have on one hand our calendar here, and then the other hand, you're going to be able to make sure that you either have a sponsor for a bill or you're moving towards getting a sponsor right away. And I want to bring up, Minna, if you wouldn't mind bringing up the list of bills that were just the other day. So I don't know how many there. Oops, here we are. The number of introduced bills is 1,798. Now, not all of those are bills right now. Some of them are considered what's called a placeholder. And so they know something's coming in, and so they think something's coming in, so they'll reserve a place in it. But you'll see from this list that on your page that these are generally the ones that have been submitted are specific to an issue. And the bills that we will have will be more specific to an issue once they're introduced. The bill that Montana Farmers Union is focusing on, as well as Northern Plains Resource Council, is our country of origin labeling bill. In addition to that, we are going to be monitoring our right to repair bill and perhaps a truth in labeling bill or a produced in the USA. And the produced in the USA is grown and produced in the USA. Now, in addition to that, you have to be able to read through these bills and just even glance at them to make sure that there isn't something within the bill that may be of interest to each of your organizations. And some things sometimes in a bill are hidden. They're, you can look at the title and say, well, that doesn't relate to me. So here's create a state fund for providing financial education, for our ag and Montana schools or any of that could be in there. And so it's real easy to pick it up, get through all the legal jargon at the beginning and then page through to see if there's anything in there that has to do with ag education. But it doesn't hurt ever to just go and open up each bill if you can, and then start to review it. Rachel and I will begin that process actually this week to see if there's any in there that we want to flag, and we'll get that information out to Grow Montana. So if we do happen to see something that looks like it's going to be of interest to Arrow or NCAT or any of our other partners or Montana Co-op Development Center, we're going to make sure that we pass that information on to Cole, and he'll be able to distribute it to all of the Grow Montana members. And so I would encourage you also to go to the Montana Legislature website and look around in it. Look at what the committees are doing, and we'll look at what the committee makeup is. Now, what you have in committee is you'll have special committees, you'll have standing committees, you'll have there's like 3 different categories for committees. Most of the committees you're looking for are the standing committees right now. However, outside of the session, you still need to be monitoring and looking at what some of the other committees, the interim committees are looking at. So the interim committees will study economic data, before they can actually make a recommendation to the legislature that something needs to be done about a specific issue. And so you will see often, I don't know, Minna, can you page down through the bill list at all? Or is it just a snapshot picture?
It's just a snapshot, but
Snapshot, that's okay. You will see when you're going through these lists that there often are something that looks like it just came from the Finance Committee, or it just came from the Energy Committee. And it is what it is they couldn't make a decision about it in the legislative session, or there was a request that they need to study it. And so often those committees, those interim committees, are granted funds by the legislature to perform studies, to look at also the architecture plans that maybe a building is working with. They're working with the building. And so it just gives them a little bit of time, and it is a fact gathering session for them, as in addition to, they may be actually set up to monitor something. So maybe the legislature actually decided that they were going to move forward and wanted to fund something, but they went ahead and did it, but they wanted regular monitoring to come back and reports to come back. And so looking at those interim committees too, and looking at what their reports are kind of important, because the interim committees often have the ability to really move legislation. And so if there's anything in there, or we want to see the interim committees take up some type of a study or an action, this is the opportunity to start talking to legislators about this. So I would welcome everyone to just, you know, you can go down a rabbit hole with this. There are going to be about 2,000. So just be warned that you'll look up and 3 hours later, you'll be still reading bills. And so just try to take it in bites. Don't get overwhelmed with it would be probably my best advice for this one. And then Minna, can you do the third document? Yeah, these are the committees. And so there's always an audit committee. And if they, you know, if the audit committee decided that there was a problem with any of our programs that are funded and our Grow Montana partners, such as the Food and Ag Development Centers, which I'm sure they don't have an audit coming, but that would be something that we, you know, have to really listen to and weigh in on. And then Finance Committee is the fiscal division of the legislature. Legislative Committee is all the services that the legislature provides, and then the Consumer Council. And then go down to the interim committees. Oh, you can't see. So there's an interim committee as I've described, and then we have all the session committees. And so it's not unusual for any one of us, if we're not able to attend that committee hearing, to sit in on it and listen in on it. We're hopeful that with the new rules that will be coming out, that there'll be an opportunity to both provide written testimony, Zoom testimony, or in-person testimony. But right now, that ball is up in the air, and I really can't give you a decision on that. I think that if we have a bill and it gets assigned by the Speaker of the House or the President of the Senate, then it'll go into one of these standing committees, agriculture, energy, could be. And then that's when you really want to participate in the hearing. So this is more of an active participation then at this level. However, it's not unheard of that you begin the work early and make sure that you've got sponsors on board, people on board, and you're really having a discussion with as many legislators as possible. So when the hearings start, that's usually when we rally the troops too. But you never know when the bill's going to come out. You don't know for sure if it's going to come out of that office. Usually it does if there's some pressure from legislators. And so we'll be working on that to monitor those also. Once those are heard back and forth, and if we do have, oh, thanks, Minna, we do have an opportunity, we'll actually be able to watch our bill go back and forth between the House and the Senate before it goes to the final floor. There's also a floor debate on those bills in each House before it goes into the combination bill. And I think that is all the time I have. I think we're waiting for Janet Ellis to get on. Minna, is she on? Great. And then Janet will be able to, Janet Ellis has a tremendous amount of experience in the legislature. And usually when I have a question about what's going on, I'm able to get really clear, good answers from Janet. So I really welcome her aboard.
Thanks, Kim.
So should I start?
Yeah, Janet, thank you for joining us.
Okay, my name is Janet Ellis, and I'm a senator from Senate District 41 in Helena. This sort of has a little bit of my background in the legislature. I have served 2 terms in the House, 1 term in the Senate, or 1 session in the Senate, and I'm on my 2nd session. And it lists the committees that I've been assigned so far. It looks like the committees I have up there for 2019, I may be on in 2021, but there may be a change. I may not be on Senate Ag. I may be on Senate Energy. There's a little wrangling going on, and and that should be cleared up this week. But I don't know exactly what my committee meeting or committees are going to be at this moment. So one of the things I just wanted to emphasize with Kim, that Kim mentioned, and I don't have much time, so I will try to talk really quickly. The legislature convenes on January 4th. That's in statute. We have to do it, but we don't know what's going to happen after that. We may recess for a month or two until there's a vaccine. We may continue to work, but maybe it's just the budget committee, because one of the things we have to do is pass a budget, a balanced budget, which makes sense because the state runs out of appropriations at the end of June. So we have to pass a budget. But today's rules committee will get an idea of what's going to happen with the session. It's from 1 to 5 this afternoon, and then from 8 to 12 tomorrow. And they're going to talk about what legislators are going to do, whether we have to wear masks and social distance and all those things, and whether the public has, what's going to happen with the public too. So a lot of stuff's getting cleared up this week, but we don't have a clear idea yet on what's going to happen. So one of the things I wanted to maybe provide, if it would be useful, I have a 2-page handout on basically how to lobby. Before I was a legislator, I worked for the Audubon Society, Montana Audubon, and I lobbied for them since from the 80s to the mid 2000, and well, it'd be 2013 would have been my last session that I lobbied, and then I became a legislator. So I have been on both sides. There's a lot of little tips. Basically, you need to know a couple things, I think. Know, if anything you can find out about a legislator's background is helpful. It's really important to know the issues you're discussing. Kim ran through the long list, it seemed like a long list to me, of issues that you are hoping to forward this session. I'd maybe urge you to pare it down, decide your top 2 priorities, and put a lot of effort into those. That's just what I would do, but you're a lot of different organizations. I could go through this list. I'm not sure it's terribly helpful, or I could email it out maybe to Mia or Kim, are the 2 emails I have easily. And it would probably be easier just to get a short list of what you should think about before you talk. It has a section. This is something I've done. I've talked because I've been a lobbyist. I was a lobbyist so long, from outside of Helena versus inside of Helena. It is written with being in person in mind, which may not be an option this time, even for your health reasons. It may be an option. The legislature may encourage you to go to this Capitol, but I'm not sure. I will be at the Capitol, and I know a lot of people won't because of health reasons and the fact that some people don't even believe COVID is real, let alone, so they won't social distance or wear masks or any of the above. It could be an interesting session, but I could read pieces of how to be a good lobbyist. One of the things I'll just encourage you, I know a number of the people on the Agriculture, Livestock and Irrigation Committee have backgrounds with ag. A number of us don't. It's not my district. I get assigned that. I'm not sure why, because it doesn't reflect my district very much. There's a little bit of agriculture in my district, but not very much at all compared to a lot of other legislators. So anytime you can bring personal stories and things like that to really help us visualize what a bill does is really, really critical. I got 1 thumbs up for sending out my little cheat sheet that I could see anyhow. I think with that, I'll stop because this is such a short talk. And if anybody has any questions, you could ask me. I don't know if you're doing chat. I missed the beginning. But I'm happy to talk to anybody about lobbying. My role is going to change this session. I am going to be vice chair, minority vice chair of Senate Finance and Claims, which is the big budget bill, big budget committee. So I'm going to be like way swamped with that piece of my life that's going to change. But otherwise, I should be available and able to talk to people about what's going on.
Thank you. Thank you, Janet.
Okay.
And if anybody does have questions, I think the chat would be a great place to place your question, and we can make sure that that Janet gets those questions if that's who they're addressed to. We can make sure to follow up, but it's a great place to kind of track. We have a tight enough time that I think we do need to move on in the agenda, but it's a great place to capture the significant questions. So thank you all.
Okay, and just so you know, I have to get off because I have another meeting, but if anybody, I will send this cheat sheet, I guess, for lobbying. The other thing I'll just mention, one other thing, is that you could set up a preference list for yourself on the internet of the bills that you want to follow, and then you get an alert by email every time a bill has a hearing, is on the floor, whatever, so you can prepare a little bit. That's a helpful tool. So you can have somebody like Kim sort through the bills initially, and then maybe decide on the bills that you want to follow. And then you can set up that preference list, and that would help you manage the volumes of information. Okay, thanks.
Great, thank you.
Yep, bye.
So we are now going to move into these topics, and I want to just again take the opportunity. You'll hear a brief overview for a few minutes from the session presenters on each topic of what that issue is. And I placed it in the chat again, and Minna went over it at the beginning, but I just want to again flag that if you want to choose which sessions to attend, you can go to the participants tab at the very bottom of your screen, find yourself. There's an icon that allows you to rename. And if I wanted to attend the first and second sessions, I could just say Cole Mannix 1, 2. So just you may all want to hear the overviews before you decide, but that's how to make sure you get to the place you want to go. I believe we're going to start with Maura on the farm to school topic as we overview these sessions.
Thanks, Cole. Hi, everyone. I'm Mara Henn. I'm the Grow Montana Coalition Coordinator and a Community Food System Specialist at NCAT. And just to share a little information about the Farm to School bill. The Farm to School bill, also known as the Farm to School Pilot Grant Program, is to be administered by the Montana Office of Public Instruction. And it would provide schools with a funding incentive to purchase Montana grown or raised foods for school nutrition programs and to assess the impact of this incentive program. It would be a competitive grant program created and pilot tested for 2 years, supporting local purchasing and food and agriculture education efforts in Montana schools. The funding is intended to support schools increasing purchases on Montana grown and raised foods for use in school meals, food and agriculture education, and promotion of Montana products. The funding requested for each of 2 years would support 90% of the funding to be awarded to schools, and up to 10% of the remaining funding would be used for administrative and evaluative expenses to ensure successful implementation and monitoring of the pilot program. Schools would be selected on multiple criteria, including free and reduced rate, current level of implementation of farm to school, geography, size of schools, and other factors. And the pilot program will be evaluated for reach, economic impact, and long-term sustainability. So that's my overview, and I'm looking forward to the longer session. Thanks, Cole.
Thanks, Mara. Gretchen on Double Snap.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Boyer. I work for Farm Hands Nourish the Flathead up in the Flathead. I work in conjunction with the Double Staff Dollar Network, which originally was NCAT, Farm Hands, and the Community Food and Ag Coalition, who is the hub of the Double SNAP Dollar Network. So Double SNAP Dollars is a nutrition incentive program that helps food insecure Montanans afford more fruits and vegetables, and has been operating in Montana since 2015. For every dollar spent on SNAP eligible foods at participating farmers markets and farm share programs, SNAP recipients receive an extra $1 to spend on fruits and vegetables. And currently, I think we have, over 25 markets participating statewide in the program. And now we have a much broader network working on bringing Double SNAP Dollars into Native communities and expanding its reach in the state. The bill is an appropriations bill for $200,000. We submitted it actually during the 2019 legislative session and passed the House and tied in the Senate. So we actually got pretty far with the bill, which is pretty exciting. We know this year that will be an uphill battle. So really the bulk of the bill is to create a fund through the Department of Agriculture to help support and stabilize the Double SNAP Dollar program. And the big premise behind the appropriations bill is to be able to leverage those funds for federal funds, which we've been very successful in getting through the USDA. So currently it is being supported by Ben Thomas and then Walsh in the House and Solomon in the Senate. So that's a brief overview.
Thanks, Gretchen. Amy McNamara is going to share with us an overview of the soil health topic.
Thanks, Cole, and hi, everyone. I'm Amy McNamara. I'm the Northern Rockies Director for the Natural Resources Defense Council. And I have the pleasure of joining Ty Custer for the session on soil health. And during that session, we are going to be talking about what is soil health, why it's so important for Montana, what farmers and ranchers are already doing to invest in soil health in their operations. And specifically, we're going to jump into the state's role in soil health and what the state's role should be. We don't currently have a soil health program in Montana. And so the bill that we are supporting this session is one that will establish a soil health committee or a subcommittee that is during the interim session, and that will look at what's being done in the state right now for soil health, what's the roles of the NRCS, the Department of Agriculture, DNRC, and how the state can step into a new role to support farmers and ranchers who are already investing in soil health, or those who want to be investing more in soil health and advancing a program that partners with farmers and ranchers, and also our federal partners at NRCS, who have a lot of resources for investing in soil health. So we're going to be talking about that, and look forward to you joining us in session 3.
Thanks, Amy. Kim, do you want to overview the long haul session? Building relationships and ideas for future bills?
I think that the relationship. So I think that we have to decide if we are in for the long haul, because this is going to be a pretty, like I said, a wonky session. And I think Janet's guidance on, pick 2 bills and go with it is probably pretty wise, because with a Republican controlled legislature and a Republican governor, if you look at what they have listed out as their agenda items that they want to see in this session, we're going to have to really find our way to tuck into some of those issues. In addition to that, we're going to need to try to develop good relationships with some of the key Republican leaders that might be able to help move a couple of our bills. And so that can be done by building relationship with other organizations that we generally wouldn't be, a part of. And so we're actually putting together a food and egg coalition that is different than our ag coalition with the large farm groups. We're going to be including a number of organization and folks and invite them into that if they're dealing with rural issues. And that includes rural medicine, that includes conservation, it includes a whole list of partners who might be able to sort of get our bills loose, get them jogged loose and get them at least into committee.
Thanks, Kim. I think there was a question, for example, in the chat a little bit earlier about is cottage food law and the topic of small meat processing, are those topics that will come out and breakout room 4? Could you say a little bit about that? Do you expect that those topics will be discussion points in that session?
You know what? Well, country of origin labeling is our issue that we'll be bringing forward, and like I said, Northern Plains Resource Council too. So we're hoping that with that opportunity of country origin labeling, we'll be able to describe and work with a lot of the processors in expansion of beef processing in the state. The holdup is still that USDA doesn't want to provide the stamp of approval so that we can ship cut meat across the border into other states. But again, we're working on that in the federal area and the federal arena. And so with the state, what we're looking for is just some recognition at this point that we really need to support an expanded use of processing for meat in the state.
Cole, this is Jan Tusick. I think this session is also the platform for people to come with their ideas and that we have a good open discussion around them. I see Robin has posted something that could be part of this group discussion. Cottage food, meat processing. Also, if there's people interested in the room, this is a good opportunity for us to have some ideas come forth.
That's great. Thanks, Jan. Yeah, it looks like we're running just a little bit ahead of schedule, which is amazing and awesome. So thanks everyone, and thanks Minna for keeping us on track. I think Minna really has us all ready to be broke out into the sessions. And I might just say that, it is a challenging legislative picture, or at least we're heading to a time of transition for sure. And yet we also have an opportunity. I mean, COVID is a new context. And, whatever part of the political spectrum you may come from, I think COVID's an opportunity to recognize that the system overall is a bit fragile. And so even though the legislative picture may look a little bit daunting, there's also people have extra motivation for the reason we need to think about food resiliency and invest in the resiliency of our agricultural systems as well. So there's some challenging aspects, but there's also some opportunities that a shock like COVID provides. So again, thank you everyone. We've got about 32 folks, and Minna's going to break us out into the first session you've chosen to join.
See, it looks like we have a couple people who wanted to change, so I'll get you guys over to the right rooms.
I see that Alicia, did you just join us? Alicia?
There you
No,
go.
I've
She,
been on, yeah.
Alicia should be in the double snap now. Sorry, I'm fumbling through this. The long haul. And then Mark would like to go into
3 or 4.
move to soil health. Great. Perfect. And I think it's just Cole, Robin, and I with Bonnie, who I'm going to also assign to the long haul conversation. Awesome. And then Robin, I'll move you.
A minute, if you would you put me in the farm to school session?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank
Right,
you.
you should get that invitation now. Let's see. Hi, Linda. Are you still interested in going to the soil health session for the first one?
Hey, Minna, my name's Ian. Is there any way I could actually go over to breakout room 2? Thank you.
Hey, Jamie.
Hi, Minna. I'm hoping you can put me in 4.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank
Let me
you.
just. How did the soil health session go?
You know what? I didn't end up in it. So I had changed my preference, but
Mhm.
yeah, that's all.
Oh, okay. Sorry
Thank
about that.
you. That's
Yeah,
okay.
no worries.
Problem. I did it.
Okay, I'll just put you in here and you should be able to join.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no worries. Bye.
I hit the button too soon. I went to close it and I hit the leave.
Oh no.
Right
Yeah,
at
it's
the
like
very end, it's like the last 2 seconds. So I was like, oh no, but oh well.
it's always really ominous, like daunting, that 60-second counting, countdown.
Right?
It's always like, I'm in the middle of a sentence, but
Yeah,
hopefully.
normally I just minimize it and I totally hit leave and I was like, no, okay, well, I'll leave.
Well, I hope you weren't speaking in the middle or something, but I know it happens to me more often than I'd like.
So Minna, do we pick another one?
Yeah, and I think most people have, thank you all so much, have put in your second preference. So I'm just moving now
Okay.
everyone to the second session rooms. Bear with me here.
Minna, can you put me back in 4?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want me back, Robin?
You can go wherever you feel,
Okay,
whatever your hit was.
okay.
This is Janet. I'd go back in 4 as well.
And
Okay.
Connie as well in number 4.
I will keep you both. Okay, so Robin, you want to stay in 4 instead of going to 3?
Yes, please. Thank you. I didn't understand what was happening.
And if folks end up moving if I end up moving you to the wrong breakout room, like feel free to come into the main room and we'll sort it out together.
Okay.
Okay, I think that we have moved everyone.
I'm still here. I need to go back into 2.
Same here.
Perfect. I haven't opened up the rooms quite yet. Let's see. Okay. And then open up our rooms. Everyone should be able to join their breakout rooms.
I guess I'm going into long haul.
And Cole, would you like to go back into farmer school or a different conversation? I think you might be muted.
Soil health, please. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Perfect. You should go. And are there any folks here that need to move to their breakout rooms or having trouble?
Hi there. I had to dial in by phone. Could I be put into breakout session 4, please?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Let me see. Usually we should be able to put folks who dial in by phone into a breakout session, but let me just make sure. I'm gonna put you, let's see. It's for some reason not allowing me to put you into a breakout session.
Okay.
What is your name?
My name is Audra Liebert. And it's possible that I'm watching and listening, but my mic's not working.
Okay.
So I can just get through using the chat. That's fine.
Okay, are you sure? Let's see. So Audra Liebert. Okay, I see that your video's in there. I just don't know why. Let me just put you in the waiting room for a second and then see if you enter back in, if that'll allow you to go into a breakout room.
Okay.
Just 1 second.
Thank you.
And it's still not letting me do it.
That's okay. I'll just
Okay.
get through chat box. No worries. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Mina, can you put me back in the Snap Dollar room for just a second? I accidentally clicked out.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry.
No worries at all. Oh, it looks like actually because the rooms are being closed.
Closing. I can't.
Yeah.
Okay. No
Sorry
worries.
about that.
No worries.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back from the second session. It looks like we still have, we started with 32 or so. We still have 27. Mina, are you able to move to the last slide? So the main thing to ask of you all is to encourage you to sign up for legislative alerts. And I know that you can't click on the screen there, but I think Mina has dropped in that link in the chat box. So if you haven't already signed up for updates from Grow Montana Policy Coalition, please do so. You can do that through the Google Forms. And if for some reason that Forms link isn't working, please just say that you'd like to join and provide your email in the chat. It's also, we're just about ready to adjourn. And we don't really have time to debrief from our sessions, but I'd encourage you, if you'd like to reach out to somebody that you met or like to provide your contact information, you can use the chat during this what remaining portion we have here to connect with people. What am I forgetting? Mina, anyone else? Any housekeeping we still need to do? I want to flag that we do have, again, this 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. session on envisioning the future of Grow Montana as a coalition. A little bit more detail about its history, where it's been, and it's, from folks like Jan Tusick and Bonnie Buckingham and folks that have been there for the duration. But we also have, what does the future look like? What are some additional partnerships? What are the issues that it should be focused on? It'll be a great session this afternoon. And if you're not already signed up for it, you can go to the Aero Expo website. Do that. Anything else? Well, thank you to our presenters. Thank you for everyone taking the time to participate in the conversation. And yeah, it's just the beginning of the work together during this session. So I hope this session this afternoon goes swimmingly, and Godspeed in everyone's work.
Thanks, Cole.
Thanks, Cole.
Cole.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.